So, we've got two Critical Drinker videos today. One where he's talking about physical gaming and what's going on. And now, the other travesty, the Odyssey. Let's check this out here.
Oh dear, if it's not one thing, it's another. No sooner has Hollywood weathered the absolute storm that blew up around Supergirl, causing irreparable damage to female-led superhero movies and probably James Gunn's career, than...
And remember, the poll comments explained it, and the poll I did said that the fans didn't give up about Supergirl, and it showed up in the box office. So remember, guys, I'm going to be posting more polls because apparently these things are fairly accurate. Though not all polls are, I'm going to do more so that we're going to see what's going on with the fandom. I've got a few up right now, so go check them out.
Another tempest looms on the horizon. And I'm not talking about the kind that this Galadriel cosplayer was banging on about.
There is a tempest in me.
I mean another potentially devastating audience backlash, this time against Christopher Nolan's Odyssey. It's a film that's already had its share of controversies and criticisms, everything from the postmodern feminist translation of the source text
Heard about
to
that.
cinematography, costumes, historical authenticity, look and feel, and worst of all, the casting.
And will not be quelled by you, Regent.
Not only is it a movie based on an ancient Greek legend with no actual Greek people in it, but, well, the people they actually did cast were questionable at best.
Isn't it weird how it's this strange full circle type of thing where you had movies way back in the, 50s, 60s, whatever, where everyone was completely whitewashed, like Native Americans were whitewashed, Egyptians were whitewashed. It's like full circle inaccuracy to where like it's still the wrong people, but different people that are the wrong people. They can't get out of their own way. Sometimes I think they do it just to cause, as the drinker says, controversy, sir. So if he doesn't say sir at the end, he drinks at the end. It says controversy. That's what he does. So, yeah, because they know what to do. They just refuse to do it.
And holy shit, did people make their feelings known. At the time of making this video, the latest countdown trailer is sitting at 48,000 likes and 230,000 dislikes. God only knows what it'll be like by the time you're watching this video.
Wow.
Either way though, that is fucking brutal, man.
Yeah.
I've never seen anything like this on a Christopher Nolan movie.
Ever.
Make no mistake, this is more than just a few curmudgeons on the internet fighting a culture war. This is a mainstream, widespread backlash against this movie. This is the kind of shitstorm...
Backlash!
I haven't seen since Snow White.
It's Hollywood, baby.
And it's interesting to compare this to the backlash against Supergirl because in some ways I can see the parallels between the perception of the two films.
That doesn't make sense.
Now stick with me here because I am going someplace with this. Supergirl had the bad luck of landing right at the intersection of three major problems in modern entertainment.
Okay.
1. Superhero fatigue. 2. Girl boss fatigue. And 3. James Gunn fatigue.
Which are all under the same umbrella of woke fatigue. Modern audience fatigue. Panderverse fatigue.
All of those factors combined together to sour people's anticipation for the film before it even released, because us humans are pretty good at pattern recognition, and let's be honest here, we've had a pretty bad run of female-led super...
Yeah, speaking of pattern recognition, I find it funny, and I think it's delusion, to tell you the truth, for the most part. Not always, but for the most part it is. Trailers are put out to make you want to go see the movie. It's advertising. It's an ad. Say, hey, is this for you? And people will tell you whether they want to see it or not. Then when you don't want to see it, just people that attack you for not wanting to see it and judging it before you watch it. They miss it just goes right over their head. People aren't going to spend money for a trailer, for a movie of a trailer they just watched that convinced them not to go see it. We don't have to go see anything we don't want to go see if the commercial is bad. Okay? Whether it's for some fabric softener, all right, to a movie, to a cruise line. If the ad doesn't work on us, we don't have to buy it just to see it because you don't want your feelings hurt. It says some of the dumbest stuff. We have pattern recognition and we know when things are coming. And especially in this day and time, you can see it coming before the movie even drops. All you need to watch is a trailer or two, depending on the way it's cut. You know what's coming. And I always say, for the majority of the movies, because it's part of what I do, we'll just have to see. But I tell you when I have a bad feeling about it. And 99% of the time when I have a bad feeling about a movie, I'm correct. So, it is what it is.
Superhero movies and TV shows over the past 5 years, and we've had an even worse run of James Gunn-led projects.
Yeah.
Keep serving up shit food at your restaurant, and guess what? People are going to start complaining, and then they're going to stop showing up. But the Odyssey might be walking right into its own little intersection of stuff that people are getting increasingly pissed off about. For example, 1. Race swap fatigue. 2. Gender ideology fatigue. And 3. Zen. Let's start with the first one.
All under the umbrella of woke fatigue. Whatever you want to call it, modern audience fatigue. The pandering fatigue. The propaganda fatigue. It's all under. I think Zendaya has overexposure because I've heard other people talk about how they're tired of seeing her. I haven't heard people say they're tired of seeing Tom though, and I think Tom may have been in around the same amount of movies, maybe more than her. So I don't know. Maybe just something with how they're marketing her. That does, like, The Rock got overexposed, Kevin Hart got overexposed, and you'll see that happen with a lot of top stars. Pedro Pascal, it's like, he's in everything. Why is he everybody? You know what I'm saying? It kind of happened with Christian Bale after the Batman thing. And he was John Connor and he was other stuff. I was like, what? And he's a great actor. I'm just saying, a lot of these people are great actors. It's just, I think, it's the way whether their management is handling it or whatever. Or maybe it's their goal to get in everything as much as they can until maybe you get to that point where people are sick of you and then you back off. You know what I mean? So that way you make as much money as possible. They fire you right out of that cannon and give you as much as they. I mean, I don't think it's actually a bad idea, but I would pull back right before people get sick of you. Those are probably the ones we don't notice.
It's first. Now, you don't need me to tell you that there's been a frustrating rise in the race swapping of established characters and in some cases, actual historical figures in recent years. And of course, it only ever goes in one direction. There's this weird assumption that every other culture, race, and ethnic group in the world are entitled to their own unique stories, history, and identity, and it all has to be carefully fenced off, protected, and respected. Whereas anything created by white Europeans is treated like some generic all-you-can-eat buffet that everyone's allowed to stick their hands into. Black female Vikings? Sure, why not? An Asian Isaac Newton? Of course. An English Tudor queen who's somehow African? It just makes sense.
Is that Hamilton? Sure, not Hamilton.
You sure?
I forgot what it's called. It's on Netflix. And it was weird because when I first started watching and I was, I was still doing, my movie reviews, and I was noticing everything going on. And I was watching it, and I was like, this ain't too bad. And it's just the longer I watched it, I was like, wait a minute. What the hell is this? Where the hell is this? Why is everybody... Oh. I was just like, I was just so tired of it. I'm just like, no.
And you know what? I think people are getting a bit sick of this shit.
Yep.
They're getting sick of being written out of their own cultural heritage and even their own history. They're getting sick of being labelled racist just for pointing out something that's provably, verifiably bullshit. And they're getting sick of being expected to just shut up and accept it. Which is why the casting of Lupita Nyong'o as Helen of Troy, one of the most iconically beautiful women in all.
It's so weird that they want to be so inclusive that they put everybody in this jumbled up position where they really wouldn't be in these particular situations. Like races for the most part hang with each other. So in a lot of situations in history and other ones, even if you're going to do fiction based on history, a lot of times it was all one type of people in different specific areas, whether you're in China, you're in India, Japan, you're in Africa, you're in Europe. It just depends on where you're at. And yeah, there are going to be times when people are mixed, but they're trying so hard that they end up effing up and pissing people off because people are just sitting there like, this is so inaccurate. They're not, all these people wouldn't be here in this area at this time like this. It doesn't make any sense.
Literature hit a bit of a sore spot for a lot of people and probably came at the worst possible time. Now, personally, I like Lupita Nyong'o. I think she's a talented actress, but come on, man. There's no fucking way you're convincing me or anyone else that she was the right person to play this role.
It's an act of lunacy.
That's right, Sean Connery. It is. You know what's also an act of lunacy?
Is there anyone else that talks like that? Everything's SH. No. But, I say just try to get as close to what the historical writing or the fictional writing says the character is. And then you can't go wrong. That's what I think. I'm just a fan of entertainment. What do I know?
Casting Elliot Page in this movie, which brings me neatly along to my second.
You'll see the boxing video.
Trifecta. Gender ideology. Now, we all know that Elliot Page recently transitioned from...
I know someone did a reaction to this. I was going to take a look at the video. I haven't seen it, but apparently Elliot is saying what masculinity is or whatever, something like that. And the thumbnails that I've seen of people laughing is,
female to male, and that's fine by me. I hope he's living his best life now and that he's happy and fulfilled. But it does create a bit of a problem when it comes to casting, because Elliot Page is 5'1" and weighs about 90 pounds soaking wet. He makes Millie Alcock look positively statuesque, and no amount of shadow boxing videos is going to change that. Notice how they put him next to the smallest man they could possibly find to try and make him look bigger? Well, your Jedi mind tricks won't work on me, son. Anyway, he's playing a Greek soldier named Sinon,
like that
who's
hurts.
never actually mentioned in the Odyssey or even the Iliad.
Guess it happened in the removal.
Because we're just winging this shit. But I mean, how? What the fuck is he supposed to fight against? I mean, his own armor probably weighs more than he does. The moment he's on screen amongst other men, he's gonna look like a small, malnourished child playing at soldiers. Believing this kind of crap requires the same kind of mental gymnastics that allows 5'3" Scarlett Johansson to beat up a room full of men twice her size.
I loved her look in that movie,
we've
man.
all had to collectively suffer through for like a decade now. This notion that men and women's fighting...
Actually, that might be my favorite look of hers, other than the one in Winter Soldier, right? She had the straight giant. Yeah, that was a good one.
Potential is even vaguely comparable, and well, nobody buys it anymore, man. Especially in a movie made by Mr. Ultra Serious Christopher Nolan. This isn't some cheesy action flick or a dumb superhero movie where believability sits firmly on the back burner. This is meant to be a grounded, realistically portrayed narrative. and it looks ridiculous. The third issue is a less prominent one, but I do get the feeling it's becoming more prevalent as time goes on, and the best way I can describe it really is Zendaya fatigue. Right now, it just feels like the girl is fucking everywhere. Not only is she in 4 separate high-profile movies this year alone, plus Euphoria on TV, but she also seems to be getting lavished with so much news coverage and fake praise that it's becoming exhausting. Again, much like Lupita Nyong'o, I've got nothing against her on a personal level. She seems pleasant enough and she usually comes across well in interviews. I mean, I can't say I'm a huge fan of the perpetually confused scowl that seems to pass for her acting style, but maybe that's just a personal thing. The point, though, is that her rise to fame just feels astroturfed. She feels like an
She really changed a lot from like the first Spider-Man movie to the second one. Then she was an a-hole in the first one. But in the second one, right? That's when they started liking each other, right? They really softened her up in that one because she was just she was insufferable in the first one.
That's popular because someone in Hollywood decided she was going to be popular and not because there was this huge swell of fan support for her.
Well, that's what Mackie said, right? So someone says, you. Remember that? He was talking about that. I'm surprised he actually, talked about that. He's out of line. That's right.
It's like a mid-card wrestler suddenly given a main event push because the bookers want to see if they've got headliner potential. Mm-hmm. Sometimes it works, but most of the time they fizzle out after a few years. And well, I've got a feeling I know which way she's going to go. Now, if I was casting the Greek goddess Athena, I'd be looking for an actress with an insane level of charisma, screen presence, and gravitas, not to mention acting range, and unless there's something about her that I've somehow missed over the years, I just don't see any of those qualities.
What movie is that? She looked crazy as hell.
I think she's going to have to dig real deep for this one, only to discover she doesn't have a big enough shovel. Ultimately, though, maybe this backlash, for all its noise,
but don't they always, all fairness, in a lot of ways, sometimes they have gods act stoic and regal. And so if you're used to being if that's your acting, then, that wouldn't be bad for a god.
Find to the internet, and the normies out there couldn't give a shit about any of these casting controversies. Christopher Nolan is one of the few star directors out there who can sell tickets on his name alone, so I definitely wouldn't count him out with this one. Is it going to reach Oppenheimer levels of success?
Absolutely not,
but I do think it'll turn a healthy profit. And what the hell? Maybe he'll surprise us all and create a genuine masterpiece.
Oppenheimer didn't have a wave of controversy before it came out, so it might turn a profit, but there's absolutely a chance it could fail. And it's still ongoing. People are very aware of it. There are millions upon millions of people online, but probably more that aren't. So it's usually, the normies are going to predict it. But the normies are also friends and family to the people that are online that are going to tell them, this is going to be some bull. So we'll see what happens
with the Odyssey, but I don't know, man. I've got this weird little feeling that he might have gone a bridge too far with this one. Either way, we'll find out in a couple of weeks. Anyway, that's all I've got for today. Go away now.
I believe that any actor, or director, producer, whatever have you, can get got as far as doing these types of movies. The modern audience movie, they work for other people. You know what I'm saying? So, and it's at a specific level. Once you get to a specific level, I'm noticing you work for somebody else that has a much bigger checkbook than you. And if you want to keep working and this is the direction they're moving in, then you're going to be in these movies, or you're going to direct these movies. You know what I mean? Or you're going to... And the producers are usually running things, and a lot of times producers have people that are either with them or a little above them, So that's why I tell you guys all the time, man. I am so glad. It's so crazy. In several success books and different audios I've listened to and stuff, they always tell you like your success will happen in ways you never thought it would. And one day I'm going to tell you about all the different goals and dreams that I had that all panned out, right? It's several, all panned out, but they never happened exactly the way I thought they were going to happen. And one was to be a mainstream entertainer. And I always tell you guys, I thought I had to go to Hollywood through the side door of YouTube. But what happened is YouTube became bigger than Hollywood and is now mainstream. And I'm a successful creator on YouTube. Therefore, I'm mainstream now. And it's like, but I thought I had to get noticed and then sign some contracts with Hollywood to act and do other things and maybe voiceovers. And but I didn't have to. Yeah, I didn't have to do it that way. And I'm so glad, because the more I do this, I keep seeing actors and directors with their hands tied. Their hands are tied, and you can tell in interviews that they can't say stuff that they want to say, or they won't say stuff that they, you know what I mean? Or some of them are all drinking the Kool-Aid. They're all in on it. You know, it's like, I don't want to be like that. You know what I'm saying? I want to have the freedom to express myself. You know, be me. So, and I think the smartest ones are the ones that, okay, they might be working for some higher ups that are going that direction, but they don't say nothing. They keep their mouths shut. Some of the movies they do are woke. Some of the movies they don't do, don't do. I mean, some of the movies they do are woke. Some of the movies they do are not. And they're probably the smartest ones to just keep their mouth shut, because they probably have contractual obligations to do this and do that. And it's like, so many of them have built lives and families, and they owe millions of dollars on property and homes, and, and paying for the kids' tuitions and this and that. And they don't want to lose the life that they built, but they have to keep working. So if they want to keep working, they got to go along to get along. Get along to go along, or whatever that is. Anyway, get over and follow Critical Drinker. Tell them Tyrone Magnus sent you. 10 million subscribers. Woo!